In 1969, the Free Breakfast for School Children program was launched by the Black Panther Party. The program fed thousands of children, with many children no longer falling asleep in class or complaining of stomach cramps, according to History.com. The program was dismantled by FBI head Edgar J. Hoover, who sought to eliminate the Black Panther Party due to racist sentiments upheld by the majority of the United States at the time. While his and the rest of the FBI goals were met and the program was dismantled, this had an adverse effect. Communities who were no longer receiving free breakfast questioned the acts of the government, and the government in turn felt added pressure to provide meals for children in school. So in 1975, the United States School Breakfast Program was permanently authorized and helps feed over 14.57 million children today. But this program is slightly different than the Black Panthers originally had set up and does not provide free meals for all students. All states should provide free breakfast and lunch to all students. Over the past few weeks, I have done countless research on the financial burden of school lunches. The free and reduced school lunch programs in the United States are not adequate. Food insecurity, poor nutrition, and financial hardship are some of the most pressing issues facing Americans today. And free lunch at school just may be the answer for some. Food insecurity is linked to poor overall health, poor performance in school, and even lower test scores. Food insecurity is also a leading health disparity in the United States and is recognized as one of the social determinants of health by the CDC. According to the USDA and Feeding America, 1 in 5 children are unsure where their next meal will come from. When the Black Panther Party introduced their Free Breakfast for School Children program, teachers and other school faculty noticed improved test scores and that children were no longer falling asleep in class, and they were no longer complaining of uncomfortable stomach cramps due to starvation. Students can also benefit from free breakfast and lunch school programs in other ways. Those who are living at or below the poverty level often have less access to healthy food choices. According to a Jackson Heart study, Americans living in poorer communities have a disproportionate risk of cardiovascular disease, which is the leading cause of death in the United States. Cardiovascular disease can be directly linked to poor nutrition. Introducing free breakfast and lunch to all students would allow access to healthier foods they may not regularly have access to. This could be an opportunity to implement learning about nutrition, nutrients, whole grains, and heart-healthy eating, and more. Free school meals for all students does not only help children living at or below the poverty level. Because cardiovascular disease is so common and therefore prevalent regardless of socioeconomic background, all children can benefit from having access to healthy meal choices at school. Free school breakfasts and lunches could give families an increase in purchasing power by more than $1,300 a year per child. Using data from World Medical and Health Policy and the United States Department of Health, the average cost of school breakfast is $2.92 per meal, while lunch is closer to $5.13 per meal. Using these figures, it can be estimated that free breakfast and lunch for just one child is valued at $1,336.30 per year. For many of us, this is an entire month's rent or more. To put these figures into perspective, the federal minimum wage in the United States is $7.25 per hour, which after taxes comes out to about $11,000, $460 per year. For a single parent with one child making minimum wage, working full-time, school meals alone would cost almost 12% of your total annual income. You may be thinking, well, there are free and reduced school lunch programs that are already available to parents meeting certain requirements. This is true, but many would say these requirements are much too low. In fact, there are more than 30 million students in the United States who cannot afford lunch, and the United States is seeing increasing rising numbers of student school debt. That's right, K through 12 in debt. Numbers totaling about 300 million a year. I do understand providing free meals to all students would take a large amount of money, likely funded through taxes. But isn't the well-being of our children worth it? Free meals for all students would provide food or would improve food security, increase knowledge and appreciation of healthy foods, and reduce financial hardship. Let's face it, the current food programs for children are outdated, and according to the numbers, they just aren't working anymore. Does a program that still leaves an estimated 13 million children hungry sound like it's working to you? 55 years ago, the United States government unwillingly took this matter into their own hands by taking away from those who had perfected the program. Isn't it about time to do it right for the children? Does anyone have any questions?
Like,
You got a question?
I thought you were first. Are you?
Oh, and she pretty much answered all of it. All the I had a question.
One question I had is, why do you think lunch is more expensive than breakfast?
I think it would probably be the portion sizes. And oftentimes breakfast foods like eggs are cheaper than the types of proteins that you would have at lunch, like turkey or chicken.
What's a meal consist of? I mean, like lunch. What's that meal for lunch?
So lunch usually consists of the current program that was brought on by the Obamas, specifically Michelle Obama, includes, I believe, one protein, and you have a choice of however many vegetables you'd like. I think up to 3 sides, but you can get a mix of a vegetable, a side, a fruit, a protein, and they also give you a dairy item. So they are trying to fill like the common My Plate that we see.
And this is only provided during the school year, correct?
Yes, there are definitely programs that I would like to recommend if for like summer schools and things like that. There definitely should be government assisted programs when school is not in session. There's also many schools that are now going to year-round schools, so free school meals for those learning styles and those schools would be great for them as well, so that they would have food security all year round.
So how much would something like this raise our taxes?
That's a great question. I'm not sure exactly how it would raise our taxes, but my thought would be to take some of that money and allocate it from another government funded fund and bring it to this fund. I would say that because the United States military spends more in the military and defense than the next 10 countries combined, I would take it from that budget. I believe it's like somewhere in the 877, I think, $billion that the U.S. military funds in defense, and I think that the number is around 267 billion that would cure world hunger. So I would start there. All right, thank you guys for listening.
All right, wave one last time, audience. Thank you. All right.